Hi, welcome you once again. Here we will discuss about the unchecked exceptions in the Java programming. So here the first one is string index out of bounds exception. Before that we will see there is two types of exception, the checked exception and unchecked exception. Checked exception in the sense the programmer cannot do anything during the during the writing of code, right? And unchecked exception in the sense which is reflecting the errors inside the programming logic. So in the logic is having any errors, then it can be handled by using the exception handling approach. Here the programmer can do the handling of exceptions by using exception handling approaches. Here we will see the string index out of bounds exception by defining the class name string index. Then main method is receiving the arguments in the form of string data type. Then here I am defining the string object with the value welcome to the classroom. Here I am calculating the number of characters in the given string is 24 with the white space. And here I am trying to print the length of the string which is stored in the object variable yes. When you are compiling this code which is successfully compiled, then which is printing the length of the string as a 24. Then here I am using the for loop to start from the index number 0. So index 0 of the string 1 2 etc. Then it will print the character by character by using the index value. So 0th index, first index, second index, third index, like that it is printing. Then here after for loop I am trying to access the 50th alphabet from the given string, but here which is having total length of the string is from 0 to 23, total is 24. But here I am trying to access the 50th character, so the exception will be raised by using the string index out of bounds exception class. So here it is saying string index is out of range 50, that's why which is raising the exception string index out of bounds. So like this, another one exception here, unchecked exception, illegal argument. The class name is defined here. Then static integer variable v with value 10. Then here I am defining the method get value which is receiving some argument value yes. Then here I am checking the values, then it will return the boolean either true or false. Then finally which is returning the value of v which is defined here. And main method is defined, the null value is assigned for the string object yes. So that means we are making this object as nullify. That means here it is not having any value, any reference, correct? Here try block is used and calling the method get value, passing the yes value is here as null. Now the control is passing over to the method get value, then here s is carrying the value null. Now it is checking s equal to null, then it will write the true. Then the true block of the if statement will execute, that is checking illegal argument exception. That means argument, this argument should not be a null. That is the observation to be done here. So whenever we are passing the argument in any method, that should not be a null. So here it is raising the exception. Then that exception is passing over here the inside the get value. So this get value is available inside the try block. Okay, the code which is to be tested available inside the try block, then which is tested. So now which is passing the value here illegal argument exception, then that is having the object e. If you want to print the notification to the user, then you can give the system.out.println. This is the statement to the user. So you see, which is displaying the illegal argument exception card, this notification. If you don't want to give any statement like this, simply you can print the variable e instead of this argument. Then you will get the value whatever the which is stored inside the variable e, right? And another one, unchecked exception is null pointer exception. Here null ex is the class name, then main method is receiving the command line arguments. Then here the object class is used to create the variable ref. Object is the parent class to all the classes in Java, right? So the superclass is used to create the reference variable with the value welcome to exception session, then which is printing the value of ref, which is having this one. So this one is printed. Then we are making the reference variable to null. That means we are nullifying this object. Once we are making this nullifying, then this object cannot be reachable, okay, right? So it is unreachable, it is in unreachable status. If it is in unreachable, then you cannot use this in future. So you see, but we are trying to invoke the method toString by using the object ref, but here this is having the null value, okay, which is having null value. Null dot toString is not possible in the Java programming. That's what you see, which is generating the exception. Null pointer exception cannot invoke object dot toString, because which is having the value null. So null, that is ref is having null, so null cannot invoke the method toString. So this is also one of the unchecked exception in the Java programming. Another one is again null pointer exception by using the method. Here directly we are assigning the value to the reference variable, but here we are using the method to assign the values null to the object variable x. You see, we are defining the class name null ex1 main method, then we are creating the object variable x by using the class sample, right? At the same time we are calling the method set underscore value here, which is having the set underscore value, assigning just which is returning the null. What that means, here null is assigned to the variable x. Now this statement is calling the print method, that means x is a null. So now the null dot print, okay, null dot print here, which is invoking null is invoking the method print, but it is not possible, right? We cannot have the null value for the object, and also it is invoking the method. We cannot invoke the method by using the null value object, so which is giving you the exception. You see, exception in thread main java.language null pointer exception, it cannot invoke the sample dot print method. Okay, sample is available here, right? Sample dot print method. So because it is having the value null. Okay, that is another example for the null pointer exception. And there is one more terminology, errors. Error is not considered as an exception in Java programming. Errors are the issues which are raised beyond the control of the programmer. That means programmer cannot control those kind of errors or cannot solve that errors by the programmer. Error occur due to the lack of system resources, and also it cannot be catch it cannot be caught by the code, okay, which is done by programmer. And errors mostly occur during the runtime of the program. So these are all belonging to the unchecked type of the errors. So whenever we are getting the exception during the compilation time, that is called checked exceptions. And if it is raised during the runtime, then that is called unchecked exceptions. Likewise, errors also, if it is occurred during the compilation time, that is called compilation time errors. If the errors are raised during the runtime, that is called unchecked errors or runtime errors. For example, for the runtime errors, stack overflow error, out of memory error, system crash error. So system crash error also cannot control by the software developer, and out of memory, that is cache memory or RAM, that is also cannot be controlled by the software developer during the coding time, and stack overflow error also cannot be controlled by the programmer during the coding time. So it is irrecoverable issues, and errors are ignored during the compilation time by the compiler. Here I have given the example, error example. Main method is there, then we are defining the method, right, invoking the method by passing the value 6, right. Then I am defining the method here, recursive method. Here 6 is the value we are passing, then 6 not equal to 0, which is here making the true or false. It is true, then we are incrementing by 1, then we are again recursive call, okay, calling the method again and again. So which is issuing the error, this cannot be controlled by the programmer, or it cannot be solved by the software developer during the coding time. Thanks for watching.